Hi guys, my name is Technical Sergeant Manuel Cook Jones. I have been in the military for 16 years now, and I was recently asked by Master Sergeant Michael Watlington to talk about adversity and how it has affected my career both for the good and for the bad. So real quick, I wanted to give y'all the definition of adversity. Webster's defines adversity as a state or instance of serious or continued difficulty or misfortune. So when I was thinking about all the adversity that I have been through out my career, the most prevalent one is my most recent TDY deployment I went on. So I recently got back from a deployment to Iraq. I started out my deployment in Balad Air Base, and I was assigned as an air advisor. So an air advisor is there to train and equip local nationals on the job that you do. So I am a fuels technician, so I refuel aircraft on the ground. So I was there refueling, helping to teach Iraqis on how to refuel aircraft and do it safely. That's the main thing. So I was there in Balad, and due to some unforeseen events that happened in that country, we were evacuated. So I waited for a reassignment, and eventually was reassigned to Taji. So I got there and started advising again, and then on 11 March, due to some unforeseen circumstances, we got rocket attacked by 30 plus rockets that landed in or around Taji Air Base, and subsequently on the 14th of March as well, another 30 plus rockets landed there. But specifically, I want to talk about adversity in dealing with the 11 March attack. So the 11 March attack happened, and you have to pardon some of the memory spacing I have, but the 11 March attack happened. We were in the bunker. We were in the bunker for hours and hours due to the base having to get accountability of personnel. And during that time, you could see that, many individuals were going through stuff, whether that be this was their first attack. They didn't know where people were. I was in the same boat. I didn't know where I had just had a friend drop me back off to my room after going to dinner. So I was thinking about them and wondering where they were. Of course, the Wi-Fi signal was cut. They don't like to, when typically in a deployed environment or any environment, if something bad happens, they're going to cut the Wi-Fi so people can't start. We live on social media, guys. So they like to go and broadcast it. And so they cut the Wi-Fi. So you couldn't get in contact with a lot of people. And it had to be like word of mouth where people were and stuff. So it took hours, and you could tell that it was getting to people as people started trickling in or not trickling in. Where were they? Where was the last known circumstance they were at? Unfortunately, 3 people were, killed instantly there, and that's unfortunate. That happens in a combat zone. But dealing with that, I came up with a little acronym for adversity to deal with this. So for adversity, I used the A as the attitude. How did you come out of it? Having that positive attitude, whether I wanted to or not, I had to step up as a leader and as an NCO and have that positive attitude. And let's look at the bright side. Let's look at where we're at and what could have happened. Did stuff happen? Yes, but you can't let that change your attitude. Was I mad at the people that shot the rockets? Yes. However, I have to had that attitude to lead people. So, and then the discipline, having that discipline, because you got to carry on. We are in a combat environment. I was in a combat environment at that time. You have to have this discipline to have your head on a swivel. And if something happens again, you're going to be able to fight. You can't be worrying about where such and such, this happened to airman or sergeant. You have to have that discipline to be ready to fire your weapon or to fight. So that's the D, the discipline, and then the virtue, behavior showing high morale standards. So having that high morale, in that adversity, dealing with that adversity in real life, you have to have that virtue. have those standards. The next one was experience. We had it was coalition based, so we had many different nationalities there, and different branches of the military, the Army, the Navy, the Marines were all there. And having those coalition forces as well, we utilized their experience. They're trained somewhat differently than we are, and utilizing their experience, for instance, for providing Selvae buddy care to somebody that was injured during that attack. Next one was our resilient. We had to be resilient. I had to be resilient in that, and withstand and recover. Yes, I was tired. Yes, I had to go to work. We had to go to work the next day, and being able to be resilient and to be that person that others could come to voice their opinions, voice their concerns, voice their troubles. I feel that that's an important thing with dealing with adversity. You have to be resilient in things. Things are going to happen, but how are you going to get over them? I think of the little train that could, or the little engine that could, getting up the hill. We have to get over the hill again, because tomorrow's a new day. And in that instance, in that circumstance, I mean, and I've told a lot of people this, you realize that life is too short and you have to live each day to the fullest. So how are you going to get over that hump and proceed on with the next day? And then my favorite is the S, smile. Smile. I've been told a lot when I walk around the squadron and stuff, even being back, you're always smiling. What's the deal? Like, and even while I was deployed, you're always smiling. Like, what's up with that? Like, this is kind of crappy place. Why are you have to smile, because you look at the bright side. You're smiling. You're that could be the only smile that somebody receives for the day. The next one is individuality. Realizing that everybody's an individual, and they're going to take the circumstance. They're going to take that adverse thing that happened differently. Everybody's an individual. I think that's why the first sergeants kind of play into hand here, because we have to treat, as a first sergeant, you have to treat everybody as an individual. And I'm not going to go through something the same way as somebody else does, and then realizing also that with the individuality, that different people are going to process things at different times. For me, I process that instance, for instance. I process it later, the initially and the day after and the weeks after, can affect me. I was able to be resilient and be there. So processing it later, being there, it's individual. And then time, realizing that sometimes you're going to go through adversity and it's going to take time to deal with things. Like I just said with the individuality, sometimes people are not going to process things as fast as you want them to, and a lot of times it's going to affect them for well on to years, months, years, and then come back in flashback. So having that time to, and realize that some things are going to take time to get over, whether that be short or long, And then why is yearning for a change. Like I want to change. I can remember, in the most recent, recently, I don't want to relive this instance in my head every day when I wake up. And that's what happens right now. So I think about those days every day of my life right now. Every morning I wake up. So my schedule right now, as I'm dealing with adversity, is every morning I wake up, I go for a run, and that clears my head, and that allows me to decompress and clear my thoughts, to be able to proceed on with the day. So everybody's going to deal with adversity differently, and you're going to find that whatever works for you might not work for the next person. So I think being as an NCO, you have to be flexible in that, and find out if you're helping a subordinate with dealing with adversity, what works for them. What worked for me doesn't work for everybody else. And so I hope this helped out. It really was eye-opening, and I'm thankful that Master Sergeant Wallington gave me the opportunity to do this, because it actually is helping me with dealing with the adverse situation that I had to deal with. So I hope you all have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.